David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. You know, in the world of James Bond fashion, I never thought I would be doing a video about James Bond Down Under, but it wasn't too long ago that I was contacted by a company called OTTA. OTTA, very simple, just a couple of letters, nothing complicated, but this is a group of brothers who started their own company in Melbourne. I don't speak Australian. They're from Australia, and they started their own clothing company, first with a series of very interesting ties, but then with other clothes that came along. And they got in contact with me because this is a brand that, as a part of their homage, they have certain things that inspire them. Jurassic Park, trust me, go look at their ad campaign. You'll understand what that's all about. But also, obviously, James Bond, and they saw my channel. They contacted me and they said, hey, we'd love to send you a few things of your choice just to try out. Now, it's really important that we set the table here because I'm talking about James Bond Down Under, this brand OTTA. I'm surrounded by Tom Fords and Oliver Browns and Massimo Albas over there and all these other brands. Why am I starting with a story of how they contacted with me? Well, I get contacted from time to time because of my channel. And the first thing I say to any brand is, number one, why are you contacting me? Why my channel, right? I have the big why. And then also, I say to them, listen, feel free to send me things, but I have a rule. And my rule is that there are no rules, meaning I'm not necessarily going to say something nice. I could say something negative. You can't give me a script, and some companies are great with that. Most companies are. Some companies are like, well, we really want you to focus on this. And I'm like, sorry, I kind of one-man show here, and I get to talk about anything that I want. I'm unrestricted and unfiltered. And this company went one more than just saying, we want you to talk about it however you want. You see, they start an engagement program, a customer experience program, to which I have never seen the likes of this. They are funny, they're snarky, they're a little sarcastic, but more importantly, they're creative. Every email that I received to them, every communication seemed very personal, and not the AI personalization that goes, David, we know that you are a 57. No. No, it was more of like they were one of us. You know, it was the relatability factor that I was feeling with this company. And then I started receiving emails from them after my first order, and the emails were funny. They were engaging. They lightened up my day. Look, like you, I've got a day-to-day job. This ain't it. This ain't it. Wish. But if wishes were bicycles, my grandmother would have wheels. That's not how it goes. But the reality is that I have a day-to-day job that gives me a lot of pressure and stress. And these emails that would come in, they were funny. They were about escapism, just like James Bond. And I just started to feel these different attributes, this connection with this company, even before I received one piece. And I had fun picking out the pieces. Obviously, there's a link below to them. They're not paying for this or anything like that. I don't get any bounce back from you clicking on that link, but check out the link below because you need to kind of see what they're all about. Now, I'm doing something already. This is typically how I do these type of things. I received my first box, I looked into these things, and I tried to pick out things that I thought were James Bond-esque, that could I see James Bond wearing them in Bond 26? And as a fan, as a James Bond fan, could I wear them? I keep going like this because I'm wearing the first one. I picked out, of course I had to, because nothing says James Bond like navy blue and blue polo, and this just seems to fit right now. This is a size medium. This is their polo. They don't have a million versions of polos. They have a few different colors. They're trying to do a few things really correct. That seems to be their way forward. And a couple things I like right off the bat is I love the fabric. Fabric is incredibly nice on this. This is one of these situations where we have kind of that higher than mid bicep look And I love the way that hits. You know that I like the banded sleeves. I just do. I love the collar on this, but I love the color. This is a really deep, rich, almost has a slight sheen to it type color. So you could see it in different like corporate settings. Now it does have this anchor. Again, this is me being very transparent. I'm not usually one for these types of distractions. I like a nice clean shirt, but I get it. This is their symbol. They have it on their symbol. Polo has their polo guy. I get it. OTTA has their anchor symbol. So if I'm going to have anything, anchor, James Bond, Navy, Commander, it's all good. It all connects together. So I'm not, and by the way, it blends, right? So if I come back here, for example, it's almost hard to see it. Now, I'm going to be very frank and transparent about all of these items because you need to make informed choices. It's a fun company. It's a great company. Their customer service is engaging. I like the people. I like the people. I like the experience. Fine. Put that aside. But the products. I mean, I am getting a product. Now, this navy polo, I like it, but for me, it's too long. Okay? Now, let's talk about that. I am not tall. I'm not 6'2". I'm 5'10", and even that's got a little fib to it, just FYI. So I get it, you know, and also hold on. Hide the kids, ladies and gentlemen. I am dropping trow. That's a term. Hold on. I am doing something, but I want my mom to be able to watch this show. She ain't gonna watch it. Hardly admits I'm her child. So here we go. So what I've done is I've now tucked this puppy in. So now I've got a nice, by the way, I chose certain things to match just a simple pair of city pants, trousers, if you like. Pants or underwear, David, across the whole world. And I also tied this with my Omega Tomorrow Never Dies watch, because it's got the blue wave dial on it to match everything. But I have this really cool rope belt, which I thought was kind of sailorish. I'm trying to do the whole anchor thing, trying to tie it all together. But this is nice. Now this is sharp. And now I understand that a longer tailed polo like this one is not made to hang out, David. You know, that's your Olabar Browns, that's your Sunspells, and yes, even the Zaritsky polo, folks. Bad plug. But this is one to be tucked in. This could go under a blazer. This could be in a corporate scenario where you're trying to, you know, make small talk with a customer and you come over with a drink and you're cutting a nice line here. You see how this fits very well, the medium, etc. It doesn't billow out because it's tucked in. This is what I would consider a tuck-in polo. But there's something else that I've accessorized with what I'm doing right now, and that is this. They have a series of really interesting bracelets. This is called a tiger's eye, and there's a nice little like lava rock momentum going on there, but this is a tiger's eye. Didn't have before this, a tiger's eye bracelet. I like it a lot, but more importantly, I'm trying to create emotional moments with OTTA, with this brand. And so what I did was I got together with my son and said, hey, this is a new brand. They're engaging Dad's channel, trying to introduce themselves to me and vice versa. And I'd like to get something for you as well. So I wound up getting him sort of a matching bracelet, but it's the black one that's all lava rock. And he wears that and I wear that. And as strange as it sounds, he's actually traveling over to Australia pretty soon. And I wanted this to be kind of a keepsake because these are made in Australia. Australian company, Melbourne. And now we have this connection. And by the way, I've been wearing this everywhere. I wore this ad nauseum in Switzerland. My last Swiss trip, I wore it a lot. And that's what I'm doing with these things. I'm trying to, what I call field test these. I field tested this in Switzerland quite a bit, to the point where some of the color on the lava rock, this was gold. Now it's kind of like I don't know, it's a more natural color is what it is now. But that's how much I've been wearing this. The polo, I wore today. Yeah, first of all, I wore it when I was in the car and I had to go deliver packages, very sexy thing, deliver packages to the post office. Did that. Then I had a dental appointment. Yeah, dental appointment. That was a lot of fun, sitting in the dentist chair. Hoofa! Everybody loves a dentist appointment. That's a good day out. And then also, I got a haircut. I got the Casino Royale. It's the name at my barber's barbershop, John the Barbershop. Still go to John the Barber. He gave me the Casino Royale. 2006 haircut. Still looks good. But I got my haircut as well. So I've been doing so many things in here. Pretty sure I even have like saliva and drool, and it's still held up. But that's not all that I got. I wound up getting one of their dress shirts, and they have some very interesting, what they call non-iron dress shirts. Now, I would hope that just when you hear the words non-iron, you bristle. You're like, oh, scratchy. No, good, nah. Yes, those non-irons, but this is not like that. This is. I got it in. I thought it was Sea Island cotton. It was so soft. The weaves were so tight. They have this. Well, you know what? Why am I yapping? I test drove a lavender colored shirt during a pitch. I had to go to Chicago, pitch a piece of business. Yeah, that's what I do for a living. I'm like a madman. I'm like a Don Draper, if you will, of an agency. And let's take a look at what happened. Okay, so I have the shirt on. It is a slim fit shirt. This is the no iron, and there's actually a steamer in this hotel room. So I just steamed it, and everything steamed out. I will say that the cotton is very soft. So sometimes with these no iron shirts, the treatment itself makes it stiff, a little itchy actually. This is not. Nice and streamlined. I have some nice tab Anthony Sinclair pants. I've got my Aquaterra watch on. Love the collar. So obviously I have this one open. I could close it up a little bit. Let's get a little close. This is the lavender. This is the lavender shirt. Love that there's a second button by the wrist, because I do like it to fit just a tad tighter, and it does. But again, silhouette wise, this is a medium. It's perfect. So if you're like, I would say like a 38, 39, 40, 41 maybe, this would be perfect for you. I love it. And you know something too? No bat wings. No bat wings. You know what I mean by that, right? You don't have like this big gusseted draw down here, which is perfect. And I'm actually going to pair it with, well, let me show you what I'm going to pair it with. Okay, so I have my Benson Clegg double-breasted blazer. Very Roger Moore, very golden eye of me. Let me peek out a little lavender sleeve. I thought this would be a nice change. Look how high that collar is. I love how, you know, it's kind of like this like military collar, but it's great. So I thought this would be a nice change to have a lavender shirt instead of the typical blue shirt. Sometimes you have this like sort of off-white ivory or white, but the lavender shirt, let's get nice and close so you can see that in here. I just think it has an interesting color, and of course I put it with a lavender pocket kerchief, and it fits the bill. So obviously that got very high marks from me. I also had picked out, which I will be wearing out in the field, a navy blue one, because of course, love the collar on that. So it's the same fit, just in a navy. But hold on, wait. There's more. There's a box. What's in the box? This was about a company that I think, there you go, the brothers OTTA. I had to look up how to pronounce them. Not always the easiest thing. So in here, we have a belt, to which obviously I haven't even opened up. But this is what I mean by doing a few things right. It's not like they had 5,000 belts on there that you choose from. This is David proof. It took a little doing. For your protection or hers, you'd make the choice. So here we go. We've got It's basically a rope braided belt, not dissimilar to the one that I'm wearing, but I thought it was simple. What I liked about this is I don't have anything in blue. So this is, you can see here in Technicolor. Now we've got a blue one that I will be trying on and wearing, but I'll tell you the thing I was most impressed with. I know, out of all these things, you seem pretty impressed already, David. Out of all these things, the thing I was most impressed with was the thing I did not think I was going to be most impressed with. Their t-shirts. You're like, David, that's not very James Bond. Yeah, it says you. James Bond wears a lot of t-shirts. Casino Royale, he wore t-shirts. He wore t-shirts in No Time to Die. There's many opportunities and places where Bond wore t-shirts, but you got Steve McQueen, you got Paul Newman. I mean, all the style icons. Brando. I could have been a contender. Brando wore t-shirts, and he wore them extremely well. But these t-shirts, well, there's t-shirts and then there's t-shirts. These are the latter. They are really well done. Now, I've got my share of t-shirts, but you can see right there, it's got a nice stretch. I picked out their blue, and I also picked out their green. And this is because British racing green, I've been on this big green kick. I don't know why. But I've been on this green kick of getting green things, probably because I'm mostly a blue guy, right? I mean, we all are. Navy blue polos. How many do you have? 900 of them? So I started to get more greens, and I test drove this t-shirt, the one I'm actually holding right now, when I was in Switzerland. I wore it on the plane. I wore it with my new sneakers, which happened to be green, and I wore it with my new watch, which is an old watch, the Tissot watch that Roger Moore wears with the bluish green. There's the green again. I wore it drinking pine schnapps, which is great for the stomach, looking out at mountains. I wore this shirt everywhere. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I wore this hiking around the Matterhorn. Yeah, that Matterhorn, the big one, the mountain, the Zermatt one. I wore this on my hiking travels, and this shirt looks like I could wear it to a corporate event right now. In fact, let me show you the fit. It's more than just the color that I like this. And just like that, this is a size medium of their t-shirt in green. You can see the way it fits. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple things right away. This obviously is an athletic fit. I know all of you out there on the hashtag Bond Fitness Challenge, and good for you, keep it up. Keep it up. But this will flatter somebody with a slightly flatter, more athletic build. Again, I love that the designers, OTTA, decided to keep the biceps high. I can't stand t-shirts that come down to here and go, meh, meh. The other thing is, it's kind of hard to tell with this horrible mic killing the lines here, but the neckline is not this big scoop neck, which I can't do, and it's also not the ones that look like they're choking you with their fingers. It's kind of got that perfect hit that gives you some alignment. So this could easily go under a cardigan. I paired it with a Sunspell cashmere hoodie and cashmere lounge pants. It was great because it was gray. I wanted to break up the gray a little bit. The green worked out incredibly well with that. But the shirt itself is so incredibly soft. It's 100% cotton, but the way they, again, twist the fibers, just like they do with the shirts, it's very fine. It feels like a highly tensile, I made that up, type of fabric. But you can see they've got their subtle, I was going to say Joel Schumacher nipple effect, but I'd have to edit that. And I don't want to go back and edit it. So I won't say Joe Schumacher nipple effect. I won't do it. They have their anchor right there, which is fine. Again, it's subtle. It blends in. If I come back here, you don't even see it. But I love where these t-shirts hit, not too long, because they're really, to me, they're not meant to be. I guess you could tuck it in. You could. But for me, I'm not going to tuck it in. This is how I'm liking it. Fits good in the back. Look at the shoulder seams. I want to remind everybody what I said just a few minutes ago. I wore this thing out and about, not once, several times in Switzerland. hiking, sweating, stones dropping, Yeti attacking me. There's no Yeti there, David. Black-nosed sheep. Highly, highly dangerous. And this t-shirt survived the bill. So the reason I wanted to do this video is we've got a long road ahead of us to Bond 26. I mean, you're surrounded right now by some of the fashion, some of the style that has come before with James Bond. We do not know today in 2025, as I'm doing this, which brands are going to be chosen, but costume designers have to consider. In the meantime, we as Bond fans aren't going to resign ourselves just to the Bond brands that have been established before, but what are those brands beyond Bond, the ones that have that Bond essence, that homage to it? And I liked OTTA. I like what they stand for. I like the way they market. I like the way they communicate. They're good to people. I mean, how hard is that to do nowadays? And the big sort of litmus test in all this is they have really cool products. So give them a try. Check them out. Don't buy anything. Buy something. I don't care. But go check them out. I think you're going to like it. I think you may find some very, I'll say not high fashion, because we're not about that on this channel, but highly styled. Classic, classic style with classic cuts that will flatter you, that will engage you, that, as you can see by this video, you can actually live your life in these clothes. That's what OTTA is all about. And also they've got Jurassic Park marketing up the yin yang. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, there you go. I'll leave you to it. I'll continue to wear this and, of course, wear my very special bracelet with my son. Heart. This has been David Zwirsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching the Bond Experience. If you like what you saw, why don't you subscribe to the channel by clicking this button right here. We'll keep you up on everything new that's happening in the world of Bond. And speaking of something new, here's something new just for you because we know you so well. Talk to you soon.